Well, hello and welcome back to Across the USA in Rule the Rail with me, Felonious the Wizard. Today we're going to test things, and this is something that everybody wants to join in on, help me with, because it's the most fun part, of course. I'm going to start a train from San Francisco and make it come up to this point over at New York 02. Just test it. I'm not going to follow it. I'm not going to do anything with it. It should just arrive here, and if it does, then the test number 1:1 I should say, is finished. So let's start this train. SF01 full stream. It should, everything goes as planned, go around, come to a control up here where it says stop, and it stops there, and I think it's 30 seconds or anything, and then it will go again. Now I'm going to measure the time it takes for it to go through the United States from West Coast to East Coast, or whatever it's supposed to be. Let's see if I can just get my stopwatch to work, because the longest time, here we go, the longest time will most likely be the one that you should start first when you do both the trains, because we are going to do that as well. Now, you're not supposedly going with the train, and you're not going to follow it either at this point. So while that one is away, I'm going to pause the recording, and we will get back to it as soon as it gets back, or when it comes back. But I should tell you that I have been doing the work of putting out these controls. These controls are the main thing, and they are put out in order to make sure that the Amtrak trains, the passenger trains, are working fine. No interference from anything else. So yeah, that's what we are doing now. We are testing, and we are testing it good. So when the other train comes back, we are going to test how long it will take him to go back to San Francisco again. So that's actually what we are doing. So while we are waiting, you are not going to follow it. You will be back here when it comes back. That's how we work. And stop. 13 minutes and 27 seconds. Yes, almost 15 minutes in order to get all the way around. Pretty nifty anyway, right? So that was one, and yes, I was worried. I can say that, but it should work, because I have tried them once each, but I've never tried the same train going back again. So with that 13 minutes and 27 seconds, let's make a note of that. So now I'm going to restart it all and go the other way around. Now let's see, New York 2, is it that way, or is it that way? It's that way. Now it's going to do the same thing. It's going down here, and this control is going to tell him that he's putting New York out stop, and then it will go. And I'll do the same thing. You don't have to go follow it, but it's always good to know that it's working, right? And there it stops. So we do the same thing from this side, and I don't follow it. I don't go and look for it or anything. Now it should be able to put every other switch correctly. It's mostly in the Big 10, where suddenly we only have one track, and they have to share the same track. Here we go. And he's going out of New York and New Jersey. Now it takes some time, because even if I have it mostly on full speed ahead, it's actually not always full speed ahead. Through the most of the stations I'll put it down to half speed, and it's mostly because I like to do that. So while that one is out doing its stuff, I'm going to put New York 02 on hold, and then I will start building the next train, so we have it until the other one comes back in, I guess, under 13 minutes. But I'll pause the recording and we'll be back when it arrives in San Francisco. Okay, here it comes. And no. Is that true? 13:24. That is 3 seconds longer time. If that's correct, and we start them with 3 seconds in between, that means that they should be meeting each other up at Mississippi. Well, why not? But we'll see about that, shouldn't we? Absolutely. Now I have made yet another train. Now I'm not totally sure that they are exactly the same. Feels like that one is a bit stranger. But yeah, it doesn't really look... It's this carriage that is the wrong one. Okay, I have to go and check that one out. Now it's really not as easy as it is in the other version. Let's back you up a bit if I'm able. I have something like that. And I only have 2 of you and 2 of you. Okay, and that's a red. That's not the same. So that one and that one we should remove. I want the trains to be of equal length, mostly because it's convenient when I put out the controls to restart back at Big 10 again. So it's easier. Now I have 3 here as well. I should probably remove that one. But I'm not totally sure that these carriages are the same either. Yeah, that might be the ones. Yeah, that's fine. Now that red one, what do I have? Let's see. It isn't that one. Nope. That's something else. Okay, let's remove that one. Put these ones in. So we have to go and look for it. That's nothing to do about it. I want them to be as much the same as possible. That one, Intercity 4. Yes, there it is. And the other one, what was that? Let's see. Coach, Sleeper Grey. Yes, that's Swedish. Should. There's the AMTs that I have used. That one, those 2 is okay, but that one should actually be something else. And I think it's Boots who has made those. I'm not totally sure. We'll see if I can find that one. I know there's one. Do I have to go and copy it? You never know. What? There we have an Amtrak. Yeah, that's the one, right? That's the ticket. with fans on top. I think that's the one. So let's put that one down there. Good. So now we have two trains about the same size, I hope. Let's go and do this and this. Now, going with these trains is actually more... It's rattling and having a lot of noise. But we are going to follow one of them up to a point where they meet. And as you probably then can tell me, it's about round 6.5 minutes or something like that. But we start with the San Francisco one. Should just start that one immediately. Let's see, was it this way? Yes. And then I'll start the New York one as well. Oh dear, he didn't change the points. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be very problematic, this one. Because I hadn't changed the points. So, back again. Couple of engines. Now good. Thank goodness they are not that far away. So we have to go all the way back. There. Now it should make everything okay. No, it doesn't. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's see. That is this one. Oh, that one makes it hard. Okay. Is it this one? No. This one can't be. That means that we are going to have to go with this train because the other one. As I said, it's a lot of noise. And that didn't go well either. What has happened? Not again. Why didn't the control... Oh no, I know why the control didn't work. Hold your horses. This should be fixed in a jiffy. If I just make sure that we do like this. This train should have ID 1. Not this particular locomotive, but the next one. And then you should go backwards. Remember that everything is paused, everything, even the other train. So yeah, nothing's going to happen until I do remove that one. Where is it? That should be working much better. That's what I forgot. Right. Now, should we or should we not go with that train? Should we rattle around? It's not as long as the other one, so it's not as fun. So this should be in New Jersey. I've totally forgotten what city it is. RTR fan knows, so he will probably tell me because he has made most of the panels. The other panels, I think it was Neil who did them, right? All the other ones. Much of what you see in the background is going to be raised up. So whatever that is should be even more further up somehow. Yeah. Do not listen to this or in your headphones because it's rattling all over the place. Did you really go that slow all the way? What? I have to check that one out. Yeah, now we are on big power again. Now he's just checking everything that it should be. He's fixing that on his way. Here we go through Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I can't go backwards more because I could do that on the Steam version where I just used the scroll mouse. That was PA, Pennsylvania. I had to do some special stuff here to the right for the freight train, but we'll get back to the freight train later on. They are not going to go through the loops back at San Francisco and New York because it will be too many things going on at the same time in a very short space. So those trains I'm going to put away somewhere else. So I have to rebuild the whole thing when it comes to the freight trains. And all these bridges you see here, the automatic bridges, I don't think we should have those ones either. I'm not totally sure what we're going to do with the tunnels, but we'll see. Now we are in Cleveland, Ohio. Going in for the next station. Every station, then we need to take a bit of a precaution because we are going back and forth and all over the place. In New Jersey we had the U.S.A train that was standing in the way. Here we have to go shifting around because there is going to be some sort of freight train perhaps in the way or something like that. I'm going to put a lot of trains up, a lot of rolling stock and stuff. And here we have the thing that I wanted to see. The other rolling stock that goes back and forth. It's always fun to see someone else's train going around as well. Otherwise it's going to be very lonely out here. The thing is that in the States you use freight trains are the priority 1 and passenger trains are priority 4 or something like that. So if there's a freight train that needs to go before the passenger train, it will be doing that. Here in Sweden we don't do that, we do the other way around. But since freight trains also take another route now and then, that's why I do those spirals and stuff. So the passenger trains always go straight line and the freight trains will do the loops and all that. I think that's more like it, and then it will come out after the passenger train, I hope. I haven't checked that one out, and that's really for test 3, 3.1, 3.2 and test 4, 4.1. So we'll see about that. And then I have my little paper here. And then after we have circulated the freight trains, because we are going to circulate the freight trains without having the passenger trains rolling, we are going to roll 2 passenger trains and 1 freight train. That's the next test after that, and then we do 2 passenger trains, 2 freight trains. Now, the 2 freight trains, I was thinking about having 2 lemon trains. But I have been reconsidering that because it's rather boring seeing the same 2 trains going around, and we already have 2 passenger trains being the same ones. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have a lemon train, then we also know where that one is all the time. And then we are going to have another train. But the same goes for these guys. Whatever they are going to have the same length as this train has, the passenger train, so we all have the same length. And in length I mean, of course, not amount of carriages, I mean the total length of the train. Yeah. I hope you can hear me over the noise. I think it's rather noisy. Now this should be some sort of Chicago stuff. And here we go down again. Now I was thinking about having all the passenger trains stop at all the stations that I've made. There are not that many. There are not 12 stations in 12 states. Because I didn't think we should. But after a while I was thinking, no, it's no fun going with trains that stop all the time. Perhaps if you do it in real life, because then you have something to watch. Here we don't have much to watch. And here comes the other train. I really hope I've stopped it back at New York. Here comes the other train. Hello, hello. It was quick. Now we have to make sure that it stops back at New York. Otherwise it's going to go through it all and go somewhere else. I think we should stop that one as well. So here we met them. Yeah. So far so good. It seems okay. Now we're going to the Big Ten. I'm not going to lie to you, but the Big Ten is actually the thing that I'm mostly worried about. And every time a freight train comes out of its loop is also a potential hazard. But we'll see. And here we go into Iowa. Nothing new. And here's no place at all. I was hoping that we could raise the plateau for these so you can't see those towers, but I'm not totally sure that's possible either. But we will raise the thing over here. We will do that. We'll see. That. Now I'm not totally sure that there should be a tunnel here, but there is. So, well, there's a lot of tunnels going on. We'll see about that. And all the panels that is not level with each other and not standing in the correct way, that's also something you have to check. Mostly by just going by train. Oh, I see. This one only have one loco and the other one has two. That's actually something to take into consideration. That's cool. And there we leave Nebraska. Yeah. And we are going through a loop. This should be Denver, Colorado, right? And we are, so to speak, leaving Denver, Colorado. Now he's checking different types, standing it all. We have already tested this. So now outside of Colorado, outside of Denver, we are going for the Big Ten, and we can't just go all the way. And as you can see, this is just a one-track place. And we are going up, up, up. Leaving Denver behind, going around. And that should be it. As I've also said at one time, it said that Colorado has, I think it was 18 tunnels. So I tried to make sure that I had some tunnels in Colorado. It's not like I needed them, but it's always fun. Now here we go, double track again. And this is actually one of the points. As you can see, the stop is on. and he put it off. Now that means that the next train can now go if there is one standing. Hopefully there is. But what if one train is already on the Big Ten loop and the other one comes at the same time? They both put the stop on each of the places and then they go colliding in the middle of the Big Ten. Well, what can I do? I can't predict how the trains are going to go. And that's why I have this single train going all the way. And I also made sure that one of the freight trains are not even going through the Big Ten. So there cannot be more than 3 trains going through the Big Ten. 2 passenger trains and 1 freight train. That is actually trying to minimize the problems that we'll see. Okay, we are going into U.S.A, I think. Yes, so I will leave the train going back again. Goodbye, dear train. It worked fine and it looks marvelous. I think it's Boots who has made the locomotives, I think. And if it's not, then you just have to shoot me. But it looks perfectly well. Totally fine. So there. It became a very long video, but I needed to do this. You were with me when I made test 1.1 and test 1.2 and the test number 2. So now we have tried that one out. And I learned a lot. At least I need 2 locomotives and I have to remember to put the ID on. ID 1 is the passenger trains and ID 2 will be the freight trains. That way they can all use the same control place and control the same switch, but in different ways. It should be working pretty nice. I've already taken away a lot of switches down here, but I kept all the powers because it feels like they need to be, well, we'll see. Perhaps I can remove them now, but I couldn't remove them back then. And I will have the New York and San Francisco places up here for the most part. Otherwise, I don't need to. It all depends on how the freight train goes. So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you got some nice fun out of it, even if I shortened it a couple of 13 minutes. Yeah, so I hope to be back with some more info or stuff pretty soon. We'll see. So, bye for now.